Hey guys. I know it's been such a long time since I've last posted, almost 3 months. And I'm really sorry about that, but life has been crazy recently. I got a girlfriend. I know that's actually shocking for a Roblox studio developer to say, but never mind that, let's just start with the concepts. First, I fixed a really annoying bug that a lot of mobile users were running into. When scrolling through assets, they wouldn't be able to scroll all the way. Other than fixing that, I also added a filter to the links category so that it's easier to navigate. You can now choose to show, hide these subcategories, signals, gates, and function blocks. I also labeled the grid/rotate snap input boxes because I realized players who don't watch my videos probably don't know what to do with a random input box in the corner. 3 episodes ago, showcase number 9, I introduced the sum gate, which is something that I have wanted in Piggy build mode for a while now. However, I realized that I missed a key feature of it that I specifically want. I added it in this new update. So, how the sum gate usually works is that it counts the amount of received signals and updates according to whether the count meets a certain requirement. However, I added a new setting that allows the count to go up every single time a signal is received. The best part about this is that it counts multiple signals by the same input. I will demonstrate in a second. Perfect. This could be cool for numeric codes, repetitive minigames, and more. This next idea is probably one of my favorite concepts of them all, but it's a configure gate. This allows you to change specific properties of an asset mid-game. It's like a mixture of a bunch of ideas that many people suggested. Shout out to Gabriel Games Realalt, Alangine, Paul4613, and user NextOneUs. These are the only comments I could find, but I'm pretty sure there are more, so sorry if you suggested this and I didn't shout you out. As you can see, you can link the configure gate to most blocks in the game, even non-linkable ones, and set their material, color, and transparency. Perfect. And the block doesn't reset until you stop the game. Oh yeah, I also moved the Stop Game button to the top bar like it is in the official game. But those 3 properties aren't the only ones you can change. You can also change whether it's collidable, whether it's anchored, the reflectance, and an easing duration if you want the properties to change smoothly. Let's just use the smooth change duration setting for now. And voila! It's smoothly changed and looks good. Now let's look at a somewhat hidden feature of this gate. Since this gate has some newly introduced features that you can't use otherwise, anchoring, can collide, reflectance, if you don't link anything to the configure gate, then the changes will be made right at the beginning of the round. Now let's turn the reflectance to 1 and see the change it makes. There we go. It looks kind of cool. I don't really know where this would be useful, but you guys wanted it so I gave it. Now this is where it gets cool. Let's unanchor the part. Whoa! Now we can move this part wherever we want. If it falls into the void, it spawns back where it initially was. The cool thing about this is that it doesn't only work for the basic block, it also works for other shapes and decorations. And then again, if we want the block to spawn unanchored, we can make sure that nothing is linked up to the configure gate. In this case, I deleted the button. Now, let's turn the collidable setting off. As you can see, I go right through the block. Now, you might be wondering. If I make it non-collidable and unanchor it, what would happen? Would it fall right through the floor? The answer is actually no, because when you make it non-collidable, it's only non-collidable to players. It can still collide with other inanimate objects. Now instead of using these boring old blocks, let's use decorations. Perfect. As you can see, it didn't fully color all of the parts, only the parts that are normally allowed to be painted. Now let's see what happens when we unanchor it. And there we go. I'll let you guys play with the rest of the decorations or any other blocks you want to try. I'm going to try to create a very simple mini marble maze using this new gate. Now, if you're on my Discord server, you may have seen a sneak peek for a new multi-select feature. I was planning on that being this update, but it's actually a lot harder than I planned. That's another reason this update was very delayed. I planned on multi-select being the new primary feature but ended up pausing it, so I spent a bunch of time on that instead of other concepts. It didn't go to waste because I'll eventually resume development of that feature and add it in an update, but I'm not sure when that would be. Thank you guys for being so patient though. I know it seems like I abandoned this project, but I'm still working on it, I promise. Now, let's try this marble maze. And there we go. I will definitely make sure to add a setting on the touch trigger for it to work on objects too. That way, you can make it like if you move a block through a maze, you win when you move that block to the middle. But anyways, that's it for the configure gate. Now let me introduce a concept that I have made before on the channel but was scrapped due to complications. The mesh block is the second ever concept I made, but Roblox's APIs at the time made it slightly difficult for rescaling. A new mesh API was recently released and now I added the mesh block back. Let's check it out. It's on a different recording. And there it is. At the bottom of the events category. Let's use it. If you are a returning viewer of the channel, you may notice that I took out a setting and replaced it with another. I took out the rescale to fit block setting and now it's automatically on. I replaced it with a shadow setting. Now that I think about it, I should have also put a shadow setting on the configure gate. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But anyways, I opened up Roblox Studio so we can look at some meshes in the toolbox. We've done this before on the channel, so if you need a reminder on how to get the mesh and texture ID, make sure to check out that video in the top right corner. But as you can see, we pasted in the mesh ID. And voila! The mesh appears in game. Now, as you can see, it's stretched out to fit the block. Maybe I'll add a setting in the future to proportionally size the mesh so that it's as big as it can be to fit inside the block without being stretched. But anyway, if you rescale the block, of course, the mesh will still match the size of the block. Now, if you don't provide a texture ID, the mesh will depend on the color and material of the block. Let me demonstrate. Regardless of whether you provide the texture ID or not, though, the transparency will carry over as well. Now, let's provide the texture though. At the point of me recording this video, there's a bug where the transparency resets on its own, but I will work on fixing that. But other than that, there we go. The texture also carries over, which is perfect. Let's check the last setting, whether the mesh casts a shadow or not. Perfect. And of course, we can pair it with the configure gate to give this mesh extra properties. But other than that, thank you for watching. Again, sorry about the late posting. If you have any more ideas, make sure to add them in the comments below so I can check them out and potentially add them to the game. Also, if you haven't pressed the like button on my game, I would really appreciate it because I have been getting dislike bombed lately, grimacing face. If you enjoyed this video and don't want to miss out on the next episodes, it would help me a lot if you subscribe to this channel and maybe even turn the notification bell on. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.